and just.
Hawaii Supreme Court Chief Justice Mark Rechtenwald delivered the State of the Judiciary address Wednesday at a joint session of the State Senate and House. In his speech, Rechtenwald touted the Access to Justice initiative and other efforts to provide equal justice to all.
Our judicial system exists to provide equal justice for all, but that ideal is compromised if people can't meaningfully participate. When that happens, some of the most serious legal problems that a person can face, whether they can stay in their homes or face eviction, whether they can see their children after a divorce, or whether they can be protected from domestic violence, are decided without their voices being fully heard. And that's an outcome that we simply cannot accept.
The Chief Justice said there are plans to bring the Veterans Treatment Court, already available in the Kona Judiciary, to all the neighbor islands. And of course, he talked about the big projects set for Kona.
Improving infrastructure is a key component to building for the future. Currently in West Hawaii, court proceedings are being held in 3 different locations in buildings that were not designed as courthouses, which in turn has led to severe security, logistical, and operational problems. To address these concerns, we have proposed building a centralized courthouse in Kona. We thank the legislature for committing $35 million thus far for construction. And this session, we will be respectfully seeking the remaining $55 million needed to build that courthouse. We believe the time has come to provide the residents of West Hawaii with a safe and secure courthouse that can meet the needs of this growing community.
Kona's elected lawmakers put the judiciary as a top priority this legislative session.
Number one is the $55 million balance on the Kona Judiciary complex that we need if we're going to get that project. If we don't get that appropriation, the $35 million that's already been allocated by the legislature and the governor would go away. So that's a priority. I've spoken with the Chief Justice on numerous occasions, who I've also watched and spent time with him going to the Judiciary Chairman and the Senate leadership and House leadership. So I'm very hopeful that that's going to happen. It's a priority for justice for us here, for jobs. 250 jobs will be created. And I think that we are the last region that needs to be improved.
However, there seems to be some confusion at the legislature about the funding.
What happens if you don't get the $55 million for Kona Courthouse?
Well, if we don't get it this year, then the other $35 million lapses and we're back to nothing.
This conversation was held between lawmakers and judiciary officials during a recent budget hearing on Oahu.
The $55 million request is with 2 less courtrooms.
Correct.
Right. So, okay. So, I mean, so you basically are down to real minimum. Yeah. Okay.
That is correct.
Thank you.
Actually, that's not true, because the appropriation was made in the 2nd year of the biennium. And you have 3 years.
No, I'm pretty sure it lapses at the end of this fiscal year 16. Is that right, Dennis?
1 year after.
It's 1 year after. It's just 1 year after the 2nd year in the biennium.
It's 2 years.
But it ends up.
In the 2nd year of the biennium.
Right.
It's 2 years of work. It's made in the 1st year of the biennium. It's 3 years of work.
Okay, anyway, we can figure it out. We gave 2 years, so not all of it will lapse.
Are there any questions?